got.
Welcome into the DML Network. It's your boy Xpert with another episode of Xpert's Corner. And this is a special edition. No guest host, nobody on the show with me, just your boy Xpert. So you got to deal with me here for the next 20, 30 minutes, however long we're going to be. But this is my top 5 things I want to see for the CFM community in Madden 21. This is my list. It may not be your top 5. I might get 1 or 2 right that you have on your list. But these are my top 5, and they're not in any particular order. But we're going to start with full commish controls. You see the commish on the screen, Mr. Roger Goodell of the NFL. And let's talk about full commish controls, something that I have been adamant about for the past several years here for Madden and the franchise community. As a co-commish in several leagues, it's crucial that we allow the head guy to have total control. And I'm talking about suspending a player, taking away draft picks, taking away cap space. If a league game, and all of us in this community have dealt with this, if a league game for some reason, it gets disconnected, somebody's internet goes out, the power goes out in your house, all these things that can happen. We see it all the time. A desync happens. I know we don't like to use that word desync in the Madden community, but it happens. And we got a game that's tight. It's 14-13 in the third quarter with 4 minutes left. A lot of times what leagues are having to do is they're having to create rules where you just play the whole game over. You try and recreate that moment. It's hard to do that. We should allow commissions to go in and start the game right where it ended. 14-13 in the third quarter. We got 4 minutes left. Boot the game back up. Commish got that control. We don't have that in Madden. A lot of times we're relying on a commissioner to control 31 other guys in his league and create too many rules to make the commission's job a little bit easier. We have guys that, and we've seen in leagues before where, you get beat in the league, guys get upset, they leave, and they roster dump. We should allow the commish full control to go back in and make that roster right back where it's supposed to be. If a commish has full controls, he feels more in control of his league. And I think that's crucial for the franchise community, and something that I've been adamant about for 3 years now. And I'd love to see it. And I think it's something that we could see in the next, Madden 21, 22. I know it's on the back burner. Not a lot of guys are talking about it, but it's one of my things that I would love to see. Next up, free agency overhaul. If you are in a franchise, just the term free agency irritates you. There's no rhyme or reason to this mode. There's no rhyme or reason to this part of your season at all. It boils down to who has the most cap space. It's really what it comes down to. And when I talk about Dynasty, we have created rules in Dynasty where you have to increase your bid by so many points. You have to have a minimum bid that you have to have. You can't put a bid in the last hour before we advance. Just things to maybe try and create a little bit more competitive free agency. And we've seen some great results. I know there's some other great leagues out there. Bomber League, Madden Bomber League, they got their own set of rules. And so we see some of those things in other leagues. But my biggest problem is that, and you see head coach 09 on the screen right now. We've great free agency system in Madden before. Yes, it was head coach 09, but that's easy to port. But just put it in Madden. You had prestige mattered, the city mattered, your track record, your coach mattered, your scheme mattered. There was so many things that played a role in a free agent coming and making a decision to come play for you. And right now, none of that factors in. 99% of the time, if you have the best contract bid in, the player is going to sign with you 99% of the time. Now, you see those things sometimes where a guy's close to your bid and the player chooses to go with a different team. But 99% of the time, it's all about who has the most money. And that's not how the true system works in the NFL. We see it all the time. We see guys taking less money to go play for a team. Maybe that was a contender. So if you win the Super Bowl and you have a chance to go get a free agent may make that decision that, hey, this is a team that's rising. It's got a great track record. It's the New England Patriots. It's Tom Brady. I want to go play with this quarterback because he can get me the football. So wide receivers are more apt to go and play in that system. You go play for the Tennessee Titans. They love to run the football. As a running back, I want to get the ball 25 times in a game. I'm going to go to a team that's going to hand me the rock. That owner likes to run the football. If you play for the Dallas Cowboys in the Dynasty and you're a linebacker, you want to go play for that guy, Xpert, because he loves playing linebacker. He's getting 20 interceptions with a linebacker. You want to go play with Embro in the Packers because that guy's hanging banners year after year after year. But right now, the system is broken. And we've been asking for the free agency system to be adjusted somehow, some way in Madden as a franchise community, and we don't see any adjustment. Now, granted that I think they want to change the system, but it's just moving too slow for me. And you had a system in Head Coach 09 that you see on the screen right now. Look at all of this stuff that you could do at Head Coach 09. I mean, literally, it would tell you when the guy signed. You could make an offer. You could bring him in for a visit. I mean, just all of these things that was truly a part of Head Coach 09 that could just be put into Madden right now. That's number 2. Number 3, true scouting overhaul. And I'm going to really put this in 2 categories. So first, my first thing is a scouting overhaul for rookies and free agents coming into your team. And you see NHL on the screen right now. Let's talk about that for a second. The NHL crew, that's a part of EA, guys, a part of the same organization that we play Madden with, has a great scouting system. Let's talk about this for a second. And this is truly where you're going to get Xpert kind of hyped up. Okay. NHL sold copies, 175K. 175,000 copies of NHL were sold. Now, these numbers aren't for NHL 19. They're a little bit farther back. But let's just say NHL went 8 nuts crazy for this past version and sold 200,000 copies. Let's just say that, right? Madden 18. Just physical copies of Madden 18. We're not talking about the digital guys, which is your boy Xpert. I don't like a disc. Take it out, put it in. That's all a waste of my time. Just physical copies the first week for Madden 18. 4.37 mil. 200K to 4.37 mil. Think about that, guys. Think about the money that we put in EA's pocket. And we asking for just simple stuff. Coaching carousel is going to come up. Free agency overhaul, contract system, full commission control. Things that you want in your league, 4.37 million copies sold. Physical copies. That's not counting all the Madden Ultimate Team coins that people buy, packs that people buy. That's just a copy of the game. That right there should get this Madden community fired up when we ask for stuff. You see NHL on the screen right now in their scouting system. So let's get back to that. Sorry, I may get on a couple tangents here and get upset and throw a fit on this video. I appreciate y'all stopping through for my top 5 things I want to see in the franchise community. So the scouting overhaul. So if you're looking at rookies for a draft that you're about to have in your franchise, I should be able to bring that rookie in, sit him down, ask him questions. I should be able to bring him in. Let's look at his workout, pro day, all of that good stuff. We should have all of that to see if he matches my scheme. Is this guy going to fit? I don't care if his stiff arm is a B- and his blocking out the backfield is an A+. None of that matters to me. If the dude if he can't pick up the blitz, what do I need him for? If he's not a good route runner, what do I need him for? If I'm playing a linebacker and he can't play the run, I don't want him. Just because you tell me he's got good vision as an A-, or he plays the pass well as a B+, or his zone coverage is a C. All of that means nothing to me if I need a linebacker that can stop the run. That's the thing that really irritates me about this scouting in Madden, is that it's not really scouting. It's you spending 175, 200 points every single week that we advance to get 3 letters for that player. And then for you to tell me, well, he was supposed to be a first-round pick, but now he's in a 4th-round pick. Or he was supposed to be a 3rd-round pick, now he's projected in the 2nd. None of that matters to the scheme of my team at all. Then let's look at it when you're in the regular season. And here's where I get most upset about this, is when you're in the regular season in Madden and you got an opponent coming up. Like, let's just say I'm going to play Nasty Noop and the Atlanta Falcons in the Dynasty. As the Cowboys, I should have a complete breakdown of what the Falcons like to do. On first down, he likes to run the stretch. On 3rd and 5 to 10, 5 to 10, 12, he's going to run a play action. He's going to run a corner route. I'm talking that in depth for the scouting for your team. I should be able to go into my practice mode and have a scout team for the Atlanta Falcons running their offense. I should know exactly what he likes to do before the game. And truly, if you have guys that are committed to your franchise, that are committed to making their team the best, they would spend time. Just like we see Madden pros. Listen, do you think that guys like Dubby and guys like Problem Right and Skimbo and Kiv and Dreeny and Boogs and all of those top guys, and I know there's so many more, right? Swain Games, all these top guys, Big Kep. You think those guys just get on the game and play? They scout their opponents. Why do you think guys have hidden accounts before they get to a tournament? They're trying to disguise who they are so they can learn and run different things. And if you don't listen to like some of these guys, I know Dubby has a great podcast, and he talked about, he streamed a lot before a major tournament, and literally guys that played him in that tournament knew what he was doing before he did it. Like, he would come out in the formation, guys knew what he was running before he ran it, and he got murdered in that tournament. That's what we need in the franchise community. I should know before I play a game what my opponent likes to do, what their tendencies are. I should be able to go into practice mode and use my team to get ready for this next opponent. That doesn't mean everybody's going to use the system. They may just say, you know what, I'm just going to load up, play my game, be done with it. There are those casual franchise guys. But when you're talking about a franchise like the Dynasty, like the NBL, guys that have content-driven communities, guys that are invested 365 days a year, from the draft to the Super Bowl, invested in their franchise. Imagine if we could add another layer on top of layer, including a scouting overhaul. Imagine if I could take my Madden team, my Madden franchise team, and practice versus other Madden franchise teams in my league in a head-to-head. Get to know my team. Understand what we do well, what we don't do well, what we need to fix. All important things. Number 3, true scouting overhaul. Got to happen. Number 4, contract system. Guys, I know that we have been told time and time again that this was going to happen, right? We were going to get fifth year option, which I believe we have now. We were going to be told we're going to get front load, back load, incentive based, all of this stuff that mirrors what the NFL does. And we just don't see it. We just don't see it. You basically offer a guy a contract, 5-year, 4-year, $46, $50 million contract, and it breaks it out in those years. And that's it. You're done. You can't renegotiate that contract until it's time for it to be up. You can't front load the contract. You can't back load the contract. You can't make it about incentives. You literally have 2 options: a salary and a bonus split out over the years of the contract. That is not how the NFL works. How many times have we seen an NFL player? It's not a contract year, but maybe the guy plays next to him. I'm going to use this as an example. Travis Frederick. knew that some guys were coming up for a contract. Travis Frederick of the Dallas Cowboys renegotiates his contract. That way they could use that money to go pay for another player. We've seen Tom Brady do it. Restructure his contract. Not necessarily take less money, but restructure it so that way this year I can sign him. We'll put yours on a bonus maybe in the next couple years. You still get the same money. You're still spending the same money. It's just put in a different spot in that contract to help me negotiate my team. As in, have total control over my franchise. Right now, you don't have that. Right now, you are just waiting sometimes for a guy, for his contract to be up so you can go back and renegotiate with him, not sign him, release him, whatever you're doing. And so we see a lot of times in our franchises where you're kind of handcuffed because of this contract system. And it's not giving you total control. And so these are the things when we talk about layers that I think could be really easy. And I understand that, you know, those guys at EA, they want to give us a great game. I understand that. Like I've met a bunch of them. You know, if you talk to a lot of the guys that are involved with them, like, you know, my homie Shotmaster, you know, Dubby, that's involved kind of with EA, Nick over at the NBL, who's just doing an amazing job commentating for the EA MCS series. You know, those guys, they want this to be the greatest franchise ever. My problem is that what you want and what you deliver are two different things sometimes. And so if you want to put something in the game and you promise us as a community something, there's one thing this community won't do. They won't forget that you promised us, right? They won't forget. The Madden community is like, it's like a female that's been hurt. She may let it slide. She may let it slide for a minute, but she ain't never gonna forget. And as soon as you act up, she gonna remind you that 8 months ago, you promised me that the contract situation on my franchise was gonna get fixed, but you still ain't done that yet. And that's what irritates me the most, is that I keep getting promised as a franchise guy that I'm going to get things. And I know there's a lot of frustration in this community because we're promised we're going to fix the contract system. We're going to fix free agency. We're going to fix commission controls. And yet I still don't see it. It's kind of like that little boy that cried wolf. Eventually you start to see people go away. And a perfect example is that if you realize there was a gaming company that said, hey man, we're going to put out a franchise mode, right? You buy into this, become a supporter, buy into this. We're going to put a franchise mode out that's going to battle Madden 20, Madden 21. Y'all just give us time. We're going to raise all this money. And they raised millions of dollars from people in this Madden community that say, you know what? I'm putting my trust in you. That company hadn't put a game out yet. And we had people that spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a part of that. I promise you, if EA would just deliver, listen, if we ask for 25 things in this franchise community and we get 10 of them, 5 of them, but we see that progress, right? I know there's going to be guys that are going to be like, it's not enough. It's not. To me, you add 4 or 5 layers onto a franchise mode, I'm going to scream from the mountaintops how great EA is doing. But literally, when you tell me the only franchise update I'm going to give you is behind your coach sitting in his office, we're going to put some screenshots up of some great things that went on in your game before, of 5 screenshots of your wide receiver catching the ball. Come on now. Come on, EA. I'm asking for something more than that. Last, and listen, I will say this. This is, to me, is my number one thing. My number one want and need for the franchise community going forward in Madden 21. Got to be a part of it. If it's not a part of it, we got a problem. It's coaching carousel. You're going to see some footage here rolling. This is NCAA, and we'll talk about that here in a second as well. Coaching carousel. 4 years. 4 years we've been asking. 4 cycles we've been asking for this. 3 cycles ago, it was a go. We were going to get it. Last year, don't worry, coaching carousel in the franchise mode. Right? Madden 19 about to come out. Coaching carousel, it's a go, right? Last minute, I hear they've taken coaching carousel off the plate. It's not coming. I think I heard it from the Sim Standard podcast. Sim F Ball Critic and Smitty and Azure, all part of the Sim Standard, kind of let us know that coaching carousel was going to be in the. Decided to take it out. How is it? And I don't understand how it's the number one thing that people want in this community, and it's not in the game. But franchises, listen, you now have an opportunity to play the Pro Bowl. You got an opportunity to play in the Pro Bowl now. You get matched up versus another opponent in your league that's kind of got the same record as you. You can now play in the Pro Bowl, but we're not going to give you offenses and defensive coordinators. That's not important to us. We want to make sure you can play in the Pro Bowl. Madden 19's been out since late July, August, right? You know how many times I've played the Pro Bowl? 0. You know how many times I want to play the Pro Bowl? 0. Nothing about playing the Pro Bowl matters to me. The only thing that matters about the Pro Bowl is that my players make it and I may get an upgrade from it. But I'm not playing in no Pro Bowl game. I want my offensive coordinator to step in and be a part of my organization and change how we run offense. I want to go and scout a defensive coordinator that's going to come in and take my defensive players that I have and make them the next level, take them to the next spot. I also want it to be on the other side where a guy just goes and hires a defensive coordinator just because he's a guy. And he comes in and he doesn't help your team out at all. It should have both sides of the coin. Make it a benefit and make it hurt people that don't do their homework, that don't bring the guy in and talk to him. It was in NCAA. Another game made by EA. And it's not in Madden. We've asked for this time and time again in this franchise community. We've done polls after polls. The homie Shopmaster had a poll up for the franchise community. Number one thing, coaching carousel. I don't ever remember seeing Pro Bowl on the list. If it was on the list, hit your boy Xpert up. Let me know if you wanted to play in the Pro Bowl because you cared that your center had a good enough year that now he gets to play in the Pro Bowl so you can now run around with a mutt team in your franchise because your center's on it. Let me know if that's important to you because to me, that's the last thing I would ever want. Give me an offensive and defensive coordinator that matter to my team. We have schemes. You can go in and change your scheme, vertical run. You can go and change the base 3-4. You can change your scheme. I want a coach to come in and make that scheme important. Utilize my players. None of that matters. Nobody can tell me that matters. We got to make that a part of the game. NHL got coaching carousel this year. NHL, 200,000 copies of NHL were sold, $60 a pop versus millions for Madden. And they got coaching carousel before we do. Here's my hope. Here is my hope. My hope is that they put it in NHL to see how it worked. And they're going to put it in Madden next. It's my only hope. At this point, I'm holding on to the last string. I really am. I'm holding on to the last string. And you know, I want Madden to be great. I really do because, you know, when I stream Madden, it's what my community is asking for. I love to play Call of Duty. I love to play, you know, Cuisine Royale and all those Battle Royals and Apex Legends. I love playing those games. But my community wants us to play Madden. But when you play Madden and you just get frustrated because the things you're asking for are not in the game, it gets old after a while. And shout out to the guys over on the Twitch platform, you know, that I watch that are constantly entertaining. The homie Big Kep, just one of the great guys in the community, very entertaining. Mr. Golden Sports, just guys I love watching. How they how they continue, Dubby, how they continue to stream this game sometimes when we don't get the things we ask for. Coaching carousel got to be in Madden 21. It's got to be. It should have been in Madden 18. We got to see it in Madden 21. So let's recap the list real quick. Number 1, full commission controls. Got to have it. Free agency overhaul, number 2. Number 3, true scouting overhaul. Number 4, a new contract system. Number 5, coaching carousel. It's my top 5 things I want to see in Madden 21. Of course, you know, at the end of Xpert's Corner, anytime I do my show here, we have Xpert's thoughts. So I want to take a minute for a couple thoughts. Thought number 1, NCAA. There was a ruling here that said now NCAA athletes now could get paid for their likeness. They can make money as athletes. And I'm not talking like Odell Beckham handing you money after you win a national championship. That's not what I'm talking about. But it opened the door. It opened the door for NCAA to come back. As a fan of NCAA football, I'm begging. I am begging. Please, EA, give us NCAA back. Please give us NCAA back as quick as possible. There is a guy in this community that you need to call. He goes by the name of Rex Dixon. If you would just call that guy, I promise you, he would quit his current job. He would quit his current job right now, move back to wherever you need him at, and start making NCAA great again. My homie Ben Miller, he would literally drop everything to make NCAA great. He would make it great. Expert thought number 1, bring back NCAA. Expert thought number 2, community. Something that I'm very passionate about is this Madden community. I love to see the different personalities that we have in this community. And they're not always going to agree. They're not always going to be on the same page. Listen, I'm in a league with 31 other guys in the Dynasty. I promise you, we have yet to have a day in the life of this league, and this is going on my 6th year in this league. We've yet to have a day in this league where we agreed on something as a group. If we put a vote up for something, it's never 32-0, ever. Right? That's just not the way this world works. We don't always agree on everything. And the Madden community is the same way. My urge to everybody out there, if you got a Twitter, if you're watching this on YouTube, we may not always agree, right? But at the end of the day, we can always show love. And I think that's the biggest thing missing from this Madden community. Listen, I've played enough of this game to understand it frustrates the hell out you. And a lot of times it frustrates you to the point you just want to throw a controller. You want to pick your monitor up and chunk it across the room. And I've capped at people. I've had people cap at me. I played Big Cap in a tournament. Big Cap tried to murder me on the microphone. At the end of the day, it's still love. That's my brother, right? And the most frustrating thing to me is we lost 2 great guys in this community because of some stupid nonsense. And now we're having to sit here and we're having to pay tribute to Spot and True Boy. And we still haven't learned our lessons sometimes. I still see it on Twitter. I see it on a stage at a tournament. Some people still haven't learned their lesson, and we got to get back to, it's kind of like Tropical Thunder. Everybody love everybody. I may not always agree with you. I may not like what you're doing, but at the end of the day, man, we got to take care of each other in this community. Enough is enough sometimes. And I hope if it just somebody listens to this, sees it on Twitter, whatever it is, and it changes the way you look at stuff, man, I hope so. Okay, last but not least, a couple shout outs. First off, shout out to all the guys in the Dynasty. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. Is job in the Dynasty, making it the great league that it is. I appreciate all the work you guys put in. It doesn't go unnoticed from your boy Xpert. I appreciate it. And last but not least, the homie Nasty Noob, my producer on the back end, takes care of me. Make sure my graphics look good. Make sure my sound looks good, sounds good. Make sure everything is on point when I do my show. Has really built my brand, and I appreciate that. Don't forget, you can check me over on Facebook, fb.gg/Experts Corner. I'm sure it'll be on the screen somewhere. Knowing Nasty Noob, he'll have it on the bus driving by or in a blimp or something, knowing how he does his graphics. But check me out over there. I stream as much as I can when I'm not coaching basketball. And just come by and say what's up. If you're watching this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn that bell on. Rock with your boys here in the Dynasty as we try and bring you as much content as possible. On behalf of the DML Network, it's your boy Xpert, and I'm out.
The Dynasty Madden League grinding 365.